Alright, my name is Todd from Go2 Cards, and today we are talking about cards I think that you should be buying. Look, there's a set that is looming out there that has 300 cards, basically, that are getting reprints. There's a lot of cards you should not be buying right now. In fact, probably most cards you should be staying away from, because in a couple weeks these cards are going to be revealed in Bonanza and you would have spent way too much money on cards that are going to get a bajillion reprints and be worth absolutely nothing. I also want to talk about Rage of the Abyss. I want to talk about Rarity Collection 2. I want to talk about a variety of different sets, the tins that I think that you should be looking at. We do have a giveaway on this video. We got kind of a cool giveaway, I think. We're going to be giving away 2 cards, 2 to one person and 2 to another person. I do not have play sets of either of these, unfortunately. But we are going to be giving away 2 Super Polys. These are from Monsters Revenge. They're secrets. They're absolutely beautiful. 2 Super Polys we're going to be giving away. But the main card that we're going to be giving away is we're going to be giving away 2 Droll and Lockbird. These are original collector rares. They're not Rarity Collection 2 collector rares. These are collector rares from Tactical Masters. They're really, really nice. We're going to be giving these away. So one person will win these and another person will win the Super Polys. All you got to do to be eligible for the giveaway is hit that subscribe button or already be subscribed and leave a comment. That is all you got to do to be eligible, and hopefully within a week we will reveal the winners of the giveaway. So these 4 cards we are giving away. Let's jump in. I want to take you over. I want to look at Rage of the Abyss first, and then we're going to look at some other things. So let me get that up, and we'll go from there. All right, so over on TCG Player, we're looking at Rage of Abyss. And what did we tell you before the set came out to do with Rage of the Abyss? What was the approach? The approach was that there are 3 cards that you're probably going to want to buy opening weekend because they have a chance to go up, and you probably want to lock them down as they might be the cheapest that they're going to be on that Friday of release going into Saturday morning. And then we told you the rest of this set you should wait until when? Right now. We told you to wait until the following weekend because there's going to be so many people opening up this product, and the cards that they're going to be chasing are Molcharmy, they're going to be chasing Impulse, and they're going to be chasing Deception. Those are the 3 cards. When they don't pull them and they end up pulling the Giant Mimigol or the Heart of the Blue Eyes, they're going to be listing those. And there's going to be a ton of listings for the rest of the cards. Now, when you come over here and you look at what has taken place in Rage of Abyss, we were basically pretty good. We were pretty dead on. I'm just gonna, there's one card that we kind of missed on, but for the most part, we're pretty solid. The Molcharmy has stayed around 135 to 150. That's where it is. One thing I want to say about this card, it ain't worth it. It is not worth $130. It's not even worth $100. I think this is more of a $50 to $60 card, and until it hits $50 to $60, I am not going to recommend you buy this card. It is not worth it. I have a play set. It is not worth it. It isn't. This card is not worth it. I know a lot of people are like, now I can't play because this card's out and it's going to destroy the game. It's not going to destroy the game. Okay? It's not worth $130. It's not. And look, I don't tell you that about every card. When SP Little Knight came out and it was $80, I told you to buy it at $80 because it was well worth the $80 and it's probably going to go up. And when it goes up, it's going to be worth that as well. And SP Little Knight is. That is a card that is worth it. This card, it is not worth it. This is not worth the $130. It's a $60 card. I would wait on it. And I do think that it will eventually go down. Now, the next card that you look at is Dominus Impulse. This card is very, very good. This is a card that is worth $60 unless you play a light, earth, or I can't remember the other one. Unless you play one of the decks that it locks you out of effects. This card is worth it. It is. It's a very good card. There's a reason why the card went up to $60. I do think that it will eventually settle around $50. That's where I would be looking at it. But it's a very, very, very good card. That is a good card. I love that card. Deception is a card you need if you're playing certain decks. If you're not playing those decks, you don't need it. So this card is a little, fits into certain decks. So is it worth it in certain decks? Yes. But if you don't play those decks, you do not need that card. The rest of the cards we told you to wait on. And if you look at the prices on the rest of these cards, they have fallen down. They've fallen down pretty nicely, just like we thought they were. And the more important thing is that there are a lot of listings on TCG Player, meaning it's going to keep the price down, probably even go down a little bit lower. But now's the time to buy them if you were interested in grabbing them, because they're pretty cheap. The only exception is the Fire King Yugioh. That card went up. I didn't see it coming. I don't think a lot of people saw it coming. Some people did. Some people said that, this card is really, really good. It's going to go up. That's the one card I would say that we missed on in the set. It did go up. It's kind of coming back down now a little bit, around $16, $17. It was up to about $19, $20. But yeah, if you're playing Fire Kings, this is a really good card. I think one of the reasons it went up is a lot of people thought that it was a one-of, and now I think a lot of people are realizing that you want to play more. That's the explanation that was shared with me, and so I'm passing it on to you. The rest, though, the rest of the cards have done exactly what we thought that they would do. If you look at the top 4 listings, look, you have 49 Macharmies, you got 29 Impulse, you got 59 Deception, and you got 56 Fire King. Those are pretty low for a new set and it being a week out. But when you drop down, you're going to see those numbers are going to go up radically. And that tells you people are listing these cards just like we said they would. The Heart of the Blue Eyes, that is a little bit less than the rest of these, which you can understand. It's played in the Exodia little package. It is a Blue Eyes card, although it's not played by Blue Eyes. So there's many reasons why people would want this card. The art is super cool, but still 79 listings. The rest of them, Mimigal Giant, 122 listings. Double what you see on that top row, which is what we told you. People are going to chase these cards. When they get them, they're going to keep them. The rest of the cards they're going to list, and that's why you're seeing the numbers so high. The Atlantean Spirit, 134 listings. The Lacrima, 145 listings. You go down to the to the Primite card, you go 141, and the Mimigal Charm, which I don't even think is played in the Mimigal deck, at 151. By the way, that Charm, I pulled quarter centuries of the Charm. I'm holding on to them because Konami does this all the time. They reveal these cards. They're not good. And then the next wave of support makes that card good. So be aware that I could easily see Charm becoming a meta card. It's printed as a secret for a reason. I believe. I believe that it's printed as a secret for a reason that we don't see yet, but we might see in the very near future. So keep an eye on that. So as far as Rage of the Abyss, I think it's a pretty good time to come in and grab those secrets. All the ultras are cheap like we said that they would be. All right, so going on from there, if you're not buying cards from Rage of the Abyss, I would really caution you to not buy cards that were not printed in recent sets because we have no idea what Konami's going to put in Bonanza. If you know what they're going to put in Bonanza, please share it. But from what I've seen, from what I know, there's a lot of people guessing. There's a lot of good guesses out there, but we really don't know. So that should be causing some concern on what you're buying and what you're not buying. So I am only buying cards that are already printed in quarter century, and I'm buying the quarter centuries, or I'm buying cards from the last 3 to 4 sets, and that is it. The rest of the cards, I am not running the risk. I'm not doing it. So, but there are some cards that I want to take a look at. And some of the cards that I want to look at that I think that you should be buying are right here. These are the quarter centuries from the tins. This year's tins. There were 50 of them. And when you get past Dark Magician Girl and Blue Eyes, they're all super, super cheap. And I have been buying these like crazy. I have an entire bin of these. I've sold all the ones that I pulled. I have bought all of these cards in this bin. So I am going in and buying cards like this. Now, you might look at this and you might say, well, that's a pretty stupid buy because Ortho Scorpio is, it's not meta relevant. It's not going to be a card that people are going after. Look, this card is a quarter right now. It's a quarter right now. And I think you're crazy if you're letting these quarter centuries that are a quarter go without you getting in on this. Because if you've played this game for any amount of time, you know that Konami can make a card that is completely irrelevant, super relevant. And it doesn't take much at all. We've seen this very recently, over and over and over again. We've seen this take place where all of a sudden you gotta play a card that nobody was playing before. You saw it with Firewall. You saw it with Yugioh. They made an entire deck around Yugioh. And if you would have had Yugiohs before that stuff was announced, you would have been sitting on a fortune. And so I'm going in, I'm buying all this stuff. There's another good example. I play Sharks. I love Sharks. There's a card that I have never played in Sharks ever. And it's Shark Drake. I've never played Shark Drake. Nobody has ever played that card in the Shark builds since the card came out. But now you gotta play it. Because they released a new card. They released 2 new cards. One that enables you to get into Shark Drake super easy. And then another card that enables you to overlay over Shark Drake that is super good. All of a sudden, the card became meta relevant. You got to think further down the line. I swear, Yu-Gi-Oh players are so right here. Whatever's right here, as long as you are focused right here, you will be a slave to this game. This game will own you. And you will constantly be throwing money after money after money on these cards that you could have already had. All you've got to do is extend the view. Just extend the view. And Konami gives us a 3-month extended view. Just look at the OCG. And if you want even further, you just look 6 months down the line and you start grabbing stupid cards like this for a quarter. I have 100 of these. You know, the card that I'm trying to get 100 of all of them, but the card that I most chased after is right here. I think you're crazy if you're not buying this card for $1. It's $1. You know how easy it is going to be for Konami to make this a meta-relevant staple? Like as easy as can be. This is a very good card in its highest rarity that is selling right now for $1. If you don't have 5 of these, you're failing at Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now. I just gotta say. Come on. All these cards have been reprinted in the tins given to you 3 per tin. And they're all super cheap. You know, another one right here, Relinquished Anima. This is 20 of them. I don't have the rest that I ordered yet, but they're coming to me. I ordered 75 Shark Drake from one seller when for 20, I think it was like 20 cents each. I'm going in on all these cards because there's no possible way that they are going to remain at the prices that they are right now. Relinquished Anima was always like $5. You go back in the history and you look at the card. Yeah, when it first got reprinted, it dropped down, but then it went back up to $5. It's always been a $5 card, and now you can get it in quarter century for $2. Like I bought all mine for right around $2. I don't understand it. I don't understand why we're passing on these cards and then we complain that the game is too expensive. The game is not too expensive. I'm just going to throw that out there. If it's too expensive, it's because you're doing it wrong. That's it. It's on you. Konami has reprinted all of these staples in Magnificent Mavens, in Rarity Collection 1, Rarity Collection 2, in the tins, year after year after year. If you didn't go in and buy those cards, yeah, when they spike up later on, yeah, it's going to be really, really expensive. But the game, I can play any deck I want to at minimal cost because the only thing that I am buying is the core. That is it. It's not, as far as hobbies go, this has to be up there with some of the cheapest hobbies you could possibly have. Like, if your hobby was riding bikes, like bikes are expensive. If you want the best bike, a really good bike, bikes are super expensive. Boats are super expensive. Four-wheelers are super expensive. Like any hobby you have is going to cost a lot of money. That's what a hobby is. And so Yu-Gi-Oh! Has to be pretty cheap. Now my deck isn't cheap because I like high rarity and I get the most expensive cards and I put them in my deck because I'm ridiculous and I'm a slave to high rarity, and I'll fully admit that. But I don't have to do that. I could have been rocking supers and been just as lousy as I am at this game with the quarter centuries. The rarity doesn't affect, you know, how good you are. What I'm trying to say is Konami has, I don't think we give them enough credit. I really don't. They have reprinted all of these cards. And instead of buying them when they're super cheap, we just thumb our nose at them and we're like, Pot of Duality. I'm not buying Pot of Duality. That's a garbage card. And then, you know, 6 months later, all of a sudden, you need Pot of Duality and you can't get it because it's spiked up. And now you're complaining like, this needs a reprint. It just got a reprint. Like, I will push Staples until I don't have any breath in me anymore. I really honestly think that the reason that this game is expensive, too expensive for so many people, is that not only do you have to buy the core, but you got to buy all the staples that go along with it. And the staples are what is killing you time after time after time. And what I'm saying is, get the staples when they're cheap, have them, and you're not going to have to do that. I don't think it's a hard formula for making the game a lot cheaper. Don't be a slave to the game. Make the game work for you. And part of making this game work for us is buying the cards when they're cheap. Now, there are cards that I don't buy that like, I'm never going to use. You know, a lot of decks I'm never going to play. I never go after those cards. A lot of mechanics I don't like. So anything that's pendulum, anything that's ritual, I just don't even chase after those at all unless I like the art. There are ways that you can minimize your buying. Because I do know that if you're buying tons and tons of staples, trust me, I do know that those staples add up in price. But there are ways to minimize what you're buying, what cards you kind of like. Like for me, I play Exceeds decks. That's what I like. I'm not a synchro guy. Links, kind of. I never play fusions. I just don't play those decks. So for me, anytime I see a black card in there, I'm chasing it. Like I want it because I know that those are the decks that appeal to me. Right now, I've got Goblin Bikers lined up. I've got Mimigol lined up. I play Horus. I got Sharks. What do all those decks have in common is they play Exceed deck. They're all Exceed decks. And that's what I like to play. So it minimizes my investment in other cards. Buy the staples. Get the staples when they're cheap. You should be coming in here grabbing tons of these. Now, I get it. If you don't want this card, I get that. This card, I don't get. There's no way in my mind that you should be passing on this card. F-Zero, I don't get. Bahamut Shark, I don't get that. Excel Synchron Stardust Dragon, I don't play Synchros, and I still have a ton of this. The Quasar, or the Cosmic Blazer Dragon, I don't get that. Panker-Tops, like, why are we letting Panker-Tops go for $1.67 when it's collector's rare, which was the highest rarity coming out of Ancient Guardians, was like $100 at points? Why are we letting this? And now I know the market's flooded with these, but the market's not always going to be flooded with these. It's not. These cards have a way of going away. And then, all you got to do is just go back to last year's tins, which I'm not in. I have no idea how I'm not in here. I must have lost it. But why did it sign me out? Alright, all you got to do is go into last year's tins, and what you're going to see is that those quarter centuries that you were getting as promos in there have gone up. Now, not substantially, but they have gone up. And you can see it Look, if you were buying Exodia, which people would have told you you're stupid for buying Exodia, nobody's playing Exodia. Well, how'd that turn out? And if you were going in and you were buying like, um, look, the Galaxy Eyes. Look, it's only $2.80, but you could have got this card for super cheap. It's up from where it was, and it's gonna keep going up. And that's the point, is that these cards are going to fluctuate. They're going to go up, they're going to go down, they're going to go up, they're going to go down, and you're going to be able to have them. I'm not saying buy 100 of them, but make sure that you have access to them. I just think that that's smart. I think it's smart right now to start looking at Rarity Collection 2. What did you not get from there? And make sure that you get those cards. I think it's smart to look at Rarity Collection 1. What did you not get in Rarity Collection 1 that you should have? And go in and grab those cards. Whatever rarity you want. I think it's smart to look at the last 2 tins and say, what should I be picking up in here that I might want? Now, the tins are open to be reprinted in Bonanza. As we do know, Diabellstar is in there. So other cards could be in there as well. That's why right now, I am almost exclusively buying quarter centuries, because Konami already told me they're not going to reprint a quarter century into another quarter century. So these cards, to me, are safe for now. And that's what I would recommend you buying. There are tons of cheap quarter centuries out there that you can grab. That's what I would be looking at doing. I think it's dangerous to buy cards right now. I really do. We sell cards. We sell cards, and I'm telling you, a lot of the cards that are out there, I would not be buying. Because there is a reprint set that is looming that is going to be reprinting almost 300 cards. It's a lot of cards. It's a lot of cards. All right. That's what I got for you today. Don't forget about the giveaway. We're giving away 2 Drolls and 2 Super Polys. So you got to pick up the third one on your own. I said a lot today. You know, probably some people disagree with what I said. You disagree, leave it in the comments. That can be your comment. You agree with what I'm saying, leave it in the comment as well. I'm just saying, go in on the staples. And Konami has reprinted a lot of staples. They've driven down the price of so many cards. Of course, they're going to release new cards that are expensive. Of course. But we just got so many cards made so much cheaper. Go in, grab those cards. Don't let those cards go back up before you get them. Again, my name is Todd from Go2 Cards, and I am out of here. And please, please, for the love of God, quit crying about I'm quitting the game. I'm quitting the game. I'm quitting it. It's too expensive. Rah, 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 rah. Either quit or keep talking. Just, I can't listen to it anymore. I can't listen to it anymore. Please help me.